All right, good morning, everybody. We're going to get started
Morning.
since it's a couple of minutes after. I'm going to mute everybody just for the interest of time. If you guys have questions, Molly, I'll unmute you, sorry. If you guys have questions during this Zoom training, just write them in the chat and we'll try, Molly and I will try and tag team on those and ask. So welcome. This is Zoom 101 and I am going to be your host today along with my girlfriend and business partner, Molly Levine with My NHD. Thank you guys all for coming this morning. We are going to do a Zoom 101 training and we have quite a few things to show you, but it's going to be very casual and hopefully pretty funny. So Molly is actually going to get us started. So Molly, you take it away, girlfriend.
Well, thank you, Lisa. So I want to cover just a few basic fundamentals of being a participant in a Zoom video. I think this has become the new normal for us. So we got to try to embrace it and thrive in this environment. So I'm going to go over just a few really basic topics that we will help you implement into your Zoom life so that it is smoother, better, more professional, and more fun. So let's get started. Okay, so the very first and most important little detail is the mute feature. Why is this? I'll tell you why. Because if my dog is walking around while I'm talking, or I can't get the lid off of my bottle, or somebody walks in the room while Lisa's speaking on something that she's prepared and worked really hard on, I don't want to be the person interrupting her, that's for sure. And I don't want to inhibit the ability of all the other participants to consume what she's saying.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. So if you look at your screen at the very bottom left, you're going to see mute. If you hit, and now everyone else besides Lisa and I is currently muted. But please, if you want to look like a Zoom professional, really consider muting yourself when you're in a room. Now, I will give you one caveat. If you show up 10 minutes early and everyone's chatting and having a good time, that's totally great. That's just like networking before a meeting. So don't feel like you have to sit and wait. You can certainly engage with the other participants, but once the meeting starts, it's a great idea to mute yourself. The second one I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to apologize and let you guys know I do have some notes, so I will be looking over to the side while I'm speaking. And I'll get around to why that matters here in a second. But when you sign on, you want to sign on with video and sound, unless you're in a situation where video is not appropriate. Perhaps you are joining us while you're in the waiting room at the doctor and you maybe don't want to share that with everyone, then you don't join with video. Or if you are going to just be a silent participant, then it's probably okay to join with neither sound or video. But if you're in a situation like this, please join us with sound and video. So when that question appears, I want you to think about what is the best situation, kind of read the room, so to speak. The next thing that's really fun and important is camera positioning, how and why. So you want to see someone's, you want people to see your face. You don't want to be this far away. And you don't want to be this close. I mean, right. It's really not ideal. So you want to be kind of like portrait size. Some experts say from the waist up. Not everyone is really comfortable being videoed from the waist up while they're sitting, especially after 8 weeks of quarantine. So definitely.
Very true.
Right?
Very
Try
true.
to keep shoulders up. That's really ideal. That way, you're seeing, let me look at our participants here. So yeah, looks like everyone's pretty much dialed in with that already. So you definitely want to be able to see the face, but also just a little bit of the body as well. So anything from the waist to, yeah, that's a nice little face there. Thank you. I like that. So okay. And then the next thing to think about is, where do you look? Actually, I'm sorry. Let me pause for a moment and go back just a tick. If you are in a situation where you're sitting at a low desk or low table, please consider enlisting a shoebox, a few books, whatever you might have lying around. You don't have to have a professional pedestal by any means. I like to—
The shoebox works great.
Yeah, that works great.
So many things.
And my favorite is, I buy the 2 giant bottles of contact solution at Costco, and the box that comes in is the absolute perfect size. But what we don't want is the looking up the nose view.
We don't need to see that.
Yeah.
We don't need to see that.
Yeah, I've got a halo light here, but yes, you don't. So what we want to see is, we want to see you head on. Think like you would think if you were looking at a news anchor on TV. The same kind of rules apply to any type of video situation. So that's something to think about, is just take the simple measures needed to get your viewpoint at the right height. Now, just so happens that my laptop and my desk and my chair as a combo is directly, I have nothing supporting my laptop. But, you know, if you're sitting like this or like this, maybe it's not ideal.
It's also not flattering to yourself. So don't do that to yourself. Exactly. Also, if you aren't videoing and you have your photo up, I just want to add that it just could look like you're maybe not engaged in the video. So keep that in mind too. So if you have your photo up and it's more of an interactive, or maybe even a networking, or someone's presenting, and you don't have your video going, you just have your picture, it does give the hint that maybe you're not invested or paying attention. So, and there's different situations for all the things, but just keep that in mind, that could be what people think.
Right, exactly. Now, if you're in this type of intimate setting, I believe we have 51 participants in the room. So it's a fairly intimate setting. So we really do want to see your faces. If you are guest number 1015 in a webinar, it's maybe not so crucial, but it is really nice to be able to see everyone's face. Now, of course, like I said, there are circumstances where maybe you're listening along while you're driving, or, you know, you're at the doctor's office or something like that, and you need to, you know, show your profile picture. We'll get into that in just a moment. So the next thing I wanted to address is, where do you look? Where do you look? Well, I think most people are just a little bit self-conscious. So our eyes' natural instinct is to look at ourselves on the screen. If you do that, you're not really engaged. So I know for my computer personally, next to my camera, there's a little green dot, and I typically look at that. But if you look up, then you're really, you give the impression that you are receiving the information being delivered, and also that you are paying attention and that you are an active participant. So that's a great little tip there. And then lighting is my favorite topic. And I sat myself specifically in the place that I am at right now, because the lighting where I am sitting is terrible. I'm going to show you.
I'm not going to lie, I thought you were going to say it was good, so.
No, this is terrible lighting. You can't see my face.
Yeah, no, you can't see your face now. It's not good, yeah.
There are so many ways that you can have supplemental lighting. You could certainly use a lamp. That may work. You definitely want to place the lamp behind your lens, not in front of it. That will cause more problems. You want to place the lighting, if you're using a lamp, behind your lens. I happen to be using this guy here. This is a halo light. And it has a holder for a phone. As well as, and we're going to share this information with you later where you can find this, as a clicker that goes through different types of lighting and different strengths of lighting. You can see it's different, right?
Yeah.
So something like that costs about $30. I think it's a great investment because this is like a huge part of our lives at the moment. So I specifically
also, you guys, we are going to include any product we talk about, we're going to provide it to SRCAR. So when they send the recap email out, you'll have that link to purchase anything.
Right.
Not endorsed, just off of our own experience.
Personal experience, exactly. So lighting is really important. Like I said, you know, I'm in a terribly lit situation on purpose, so you can see what a huge difference the right lighting makes. So keep that in mind. And yes, I see Felicia mentioned that natural light is a great idea. The reason I sat myself here facing this direction is to show you options. Now, if I were to turn around, I have beautiful filtered natural light coming through the shears on my windows. That is optimal, but that is not always available. So yes, definitely facing natural light is always going to be the absolute best option. So thank you for pointing that out. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is headphones. Lisa, you have your headphones?
I do, they're right here.
Yes.
I can't see them. Here they are.
Okay, so headphones are a great asset to have if you want to have a professional Zoom experience. And let me tell you why. The ones that Lisa has, as well as the ones that I have, they are noise canceling. So if you've got your dog walking across your wood floor, or you have children or a significant other, or even a doorbell, all of these common everyday distractions, that will help with that. So you'll be able to hear the speaker very clearly, and it actually helps with your audio as well when you're communicating. So that's something to think about. Headphones.
And just an FYI, these are still on flash sale on Amazon.com for $79, and these are Power Beats by Dre. They're normally $200, and they have been on flash sale for like a month. When I first started this, I shared it with everybody on social media, and I just checked yesterday and they are still on there. So I will make sure and include that link for you guys as well. They're a great headphone, especially if you don't want to stick something in your ears, because that's uncomfortable a lot of times. These are very small, but they also have this ear, I don't know what it's called, thing. Hook. And hook. And it's really, they're very comfortable.
Okay, so I'm trying to keep up with all of the notes here as well. So headphones. I'm a big proponent of Apple AirPods. I have both versions. The new ones, the pros, are noise canceling, but they're really pricey. So if it's not a big part of your life to wear headphones, for me it is, but if it's not a big part of your life, look for a less expensive option. Lisa's is a great, slightly less expensive option, but there are even less expensive options than that. So
for sure. And these are noise canceling as well, just in case.
Headphones are a huge help. So that,
they really are.
And then the next thing I want to pivot to is attire. I mean, Lisa, as you can see, she's beautifully professionally dressed, and I'm seeing a lot of you are as well. For
Only
Lisa,
on purpose.
Right. Yes, exactly. Lisa, I changed for this. I had a meeting before this, but I would upgrade myself a little bit for all of you. So yeah, Lisa, you could see that she's polished, professional looking. When you're in a professional environment, just because we're sitting at home, it doesn't really change who we are. So just think about that. And I'm going to say something very specific and kind of funny. You need to wear pants.
You do. You do.
You don't want to be
need to wear pants.
YouTube sensation. You don't want to be the person that you are not wearing pants for whatever reason, and you're drinking really hot coffee, you accidentally spill it on yourself, you jump up and no pants. You don't want to be that person.
You do not want to do that. It's not okay.
Right. Or we're saying the Pledge of Allegiance or whatever. So definitely consider pants. It's a great option.
It's necessary for sure.
So, okay, so let's talk about backgrounds.
Also, really quick, not a great day to test out your new tube top because
yes, thank you.
You want people to know that you're wearing clothes. You don't want to look naked. That's not professional at all. So don't test out your new tube top. That is a no-no on the Zoom. I mean, I almost was like, oh no, I'm wearing it off the shoulder, but at least you can see that I'm wearing a shirt. Tube top would be a whole different situation. So leave that for the beach maybe.
Yes.
Or the weekend.
Tyler, I think we're going to have to agree to disagree on the pants.
Tyler Brown says he thinks pants should be optional. So we're going to talk about that later. We're going to talk to you later about that, Tyler.
That's a sidebar for later. So anyway, and we're trying to keep this event very like fun and upbeat and casual because, you know, we want to be engaging with you. So
for sure.
You know, feel free to ask anything. And like I see Barbara's got a question. We're going to get to that here very soon. So the next topic we want to cover is backgrounds and green screens. So I'm going to go through a few options here. One, you can see I have a pleasant, clean, neutral backdrop. You know, even a blank wall isn't bad. I think something that's a little more interesting is always better, but if that's not available, a blank wall is perfectly fine. Something, if you're going to be in front of a window like me, you'd need to have supplemental lighting, so keep that in mind. And there are other options too, such as a virtual background. So if you're using this on the app on your computer, at the bottom, you're going to see mute and you're going to see stop video. And if you click the little, I'm going to screen share here so you guys can see. So, oops. I think I shared the wrong screen. I apologize.
Technical difficulties. To answer some people's questions why she's figuring out how to do that, my background is a virtual background. I am not at my office, unfortunately. This is a virtual background. I had it made, and Molly will talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so
especially in regards to green screens.
I just remembered our revelation we talked about yesterday, that when you're using the app functionality for Zoom, that you can't share your Zoom screen. So I was just reminded of that right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. We discovered that yesterday, so.
I apologize. So, okay, at the bottom left, you're going to see mute, and then you're going to see an arrow, and then you're going to see stop video, and then you're going to see an arrow. Click the arrow. Then go to choose virtual background.
Yep.
Now, most people are going to see a caution pop up saying that you need a green screen or that your processor doesn't meet the recommended specifications.
That was me.
Right. So
I'm working off of a MacBook Pro, and I have a newer one, but it still doesn't have a large enough processor to give me the virtual background option without a green screen. So you just have to look at your processor, and Zoom will tell you, like Molly was saying, it'll prompt you saying, you don't have this access, you have to have a green screen, or it won't prompt you and something will pop up.
Exactly. So here I am with my virtual background. It's a beautiful panorama. This gives you that interesting and clean and clear background that is desired for this format. So think about that as an option. Lisa has taken it up a notch, like she said. She has a very sophisticated green screen. Lisa, are you ready for your big reveal?
I'm ready. You guys ready? Ayo, it's a sheet. Okay, here we go. This is a green bed sheet. I could not get access to a green screen, and I needed one. And so I improvised, and I ordered a green queen size bed sheet, and I hung it up on my wall. Well, I should say Steve hung it up on my wall for me. And that is what I use every day I'm on Zoom, is my green sheet, and it works lovely, as you can see.
Right, so there's definitely options available. Here I've got a computer that allows for me to have this backdrop. If you don't have that, Lisa's option is fantastic. And I'm sure you could probably
very sophisticated.
Pick one on Amazon for maybe $10, $15, something like
It was
that?
$12.
Okay.
$12 on Amazon.
Perfect. So consider that as an option. If you don't have a camera ready backdrop in your home, which many of us don't, then consider a virtual background or consider the green screen option.
Yes, and I do want to just add really quick to this. Regardless if your computer is up to date or has a big enough processor to use a green screen or not, your image is always going to look better when you have a green screen. Regardless if it says you don't need one, the processor's good, we're good. It always looks nicer. So Molly doesn't have a green screen on. She has a high enough processor on her computer where it doesn't require one. But if she grabs anything, Molly, do you have your water bottle like we did yesterday? I don't know if it'll work. See, it kind of like gets a little, yeah, look, you can't even see the water bottle. Where'd it go? I don't know.
I mean, if you're doing a magic show,
perfect. Yeah, great trick. But if you're not, like mine works fine. And I have a green screen. You can see my water bottle. It's right here. And so it's just a little bit crisper. So I get that question a lot is, hey, my computer, I don't need one, but your ears look so clear, or I get the shadows on my fingers or whatever. I get that a lot. And it's for two reasons. You should have a green screen if you want that crisp background, and you may be overexposed in lighting. If you have too much light on you, you get that shadowy, like, obviously I don't have a good example because it's not happening to me, but you get that like weird image that follows your like limbs or your hair or whatever it does. So if you have too much light on you, that happens. If you don't have a green screen, that happens.
Right.
Oh, someone's sharing their screen with us. That's weird. I'm going to take that off. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so the next thing I want to go over really quickly and easily is that when you have a profile name and a profile photo. So if you are in a situation where you need to go off camera for a second, for a perfect example of that is if you need to cough or sneeze. I know allergy season is crazy right now. So
the worst. I am the worst.
If I had to sneeze, let's say that that Barbara Horan was hosting this and I didn't want to be the person that's like, achoo, right? And everyone's like, oh, bless you, but it's really not what you want to do. You can just quickly go to the bottom of your screen and click stop video. Now, I have gone ahead and I've put in, as you can all see, and Lisa as well, we have profile photos and we have named ourselves. So yes, that's what you see.
And it's my name. It's not like L Dub's iPhone, you know, that's not cute. You want to be professional. So, exactly. Although that is what it said at first, to be 100% honest, it did say that. I changed it.
And when you're ready to show your face again, just click stop video one more time. Let me quickly show you. You can follow along with your own computer, and I'm going to answer the how to switch your photo question that Barbara had posed. So you're going to go up to the top where it says zoom.us. Everyone see that very top left corner? And you're going to hit preferences. Everybody see that?
No, people are saying no.
Okay. I can't share my screen with you with my Zoom, so I need you to follow along on your own computer. So you're going to go up to the top of your screen where it says zoom.us. Is anyone not seeing that? I'm working on a PC here. I can also.
I'm working on a Mac and I have it.
I'm sorry, that's what I meant. I'm working on a Mac.
Oh, yeah.
So
my PC says Zoom meeting, and then it's got a couple things in recording, but it doesn't say Zoom.
Okay, so what you can also do is you can do this on the Zoom website when you're not on a Zoom. So I'm going to share my screen in a little bit and show you the Zoom website as opposed to using the app, and I will quickly go in there and reference what Molly was talking about.
Yes, exactly.
That may be a little bit easier.
I think it would also be under Zoom and preferences. Are you seeing preferences?
No, people are saying no.
Daniel, are you on this call? We're both Mac users.
Yeah, I am on this call. Unfortunately, the Windows version does not have that preferences setting. So
Okay.
Good to know.
Where
Little
would,
Zoom 101 for your host today.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Daniel is a genius. If you don't know him, you should get to know him.
What about iPad?
So where would you find your settings on a PC?
okay, so on the Zoom right now, we're seeing everyone's videos and photos and whatnot. But if you, there's like another launch screen where you can launch the actual Zoom meeting, up in the very top right, there's going to be your initials. Typically, it'll have the first initial, last name initial. And you click on that, and then you can go to settings, and that's where you can adjust your settings for your profile and whatnot.
Yeah, it's going to be in your settings. So wherever your settings is on your computer, that's where you go, and it'll be under profile, and you'll see a silhouette of a person, and that's what you'll want to click to change your profile picture. And whatever's there is what's going to pop up when you stop your video like this.
So
Can I try something real quick?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let's see if it'll work. Okay, so do you guys see, well, you see my Spotify. Okay, do you guys see the screen right here?
no, it doesn't allow for that if you're using the app.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then, sorry.
Yeah, that is
That's
an
okay.
unfortunate side effect. But
If you're on Zoom and you're trying to show someone something on Zoom, it doesn't allow you to share your screen for Zoom. How many times can we say Zoom in one meeting?
in Zoom Life, that's the other little buzzword.
Okay, guys,
So-
for Windows working on PC, I'm no expert, but when you're working with Windows and you want to set up your own background, go down to the bottom left corner where it says stop video, and you'll see an arrow, an up
Yeah.
point arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you click that, you'll see video and you'll see settings.
Yeah.
You'll see video settings. Go into that, and it will literally open it up for video, audio, share screen, everything else. And if you go into your general or your video, you should be able, and then there's a background that says virtual background
Yeah.
right there. You can post whatever picture you have within that computer. You can do it right now while you're in a meeting.
Right.
You
Right.
can see
yeah.
yourself doing it. That's how
Okay.
I did it and put up my business card. I had a copy of a digital version of my business card, and just put it up in my virtual background, and it worked out perfectly. I left it there. I didn't have to Photoshop it. I didn't have to do anything. So
Yeah.
literally go into virtual background from those settings right there on Windows, and you'll be able to set it right now.
Okay.
So
So
he's referring to how to get a virtual background.
Correct.
As far as what Molly was saying, to get this photo, that's a
Correct.
different.
yeah.
Correct. That is
So,
different.
yeah,
Correct.
we actually we just went over that, and thank you for confirming that it's the exact same in Windows. That's great, because
Yeah.
neither of us are Windows users. So everything that I said,
I want to add something. Okay, so where he just was with the video, it brings up a whole toolbar on the left, and profile is one of them, and that's where you can add your picture.
Yeah.
That's just one of the options. You can go to settings, you can go all over, but where he just took us, it says profile, and your picture and your name are there, and you can edit that if you want to throw your picture in for when you leave the meeting.
okay, thank you. So those of you who are following along with me, who are in their preferences, you're going to go to profile. For those of you who are following along, you're going to go to profile, and then you're going to see a shadow, like a silhouette. You can click there on the little pencil, and then you can change your photo there. And we will link these instructions from the Zoom website in the recap email for everyone. So if you're having a little trouble following along because of the unavailability of the screen share for actual Zoom feature, then we'll go ahead and link the Zoom instructions for you for that, for those who are not able to follow along. So, okay, so we've covered a lot. We've covered backgrounds, virtual backgrounds, profile photos, naming yourself. Very important to give yourself a name that is appropriate for the situation. So if you are Zooming with, you know, your grandchildren and your grandma, you want to go ahead and change that back. and be, you know, Susan Smith or whatever your name is. It's not a bad idea to include your company name as well if you're promoting your company at the time. So think about that as well. So the next thing we're going to cover is a couple of things to think about here. One, you want to be comfortable. So personally, when I'm on Zoom, I'm sitting in a pretty comfortable chair. I have changed out my desk chair to be a more comfortable chair because then I'm not fidgeting and moving all around while I'm moving. So that's something to think about. And then next, you want to curb distractions. So I am in a room with a locked door. My dogs are with the kids, and I have instructed everyone in the house to give me privacy for the next 60 minutes. So just think about those things. If you're on an important Zoom, you're going to want to let the other people in your home know that and ask them for privacy, because actually Daniel was on a call with me just before this, and my husband, I didn't make that. I made that mistake. Even I make that kind of mistake. And my husband opened the door and both my dogs came running in the room, and it was very loud and distracting. So if you don't want to be that person, consider curbing your distractions that way.
We were also on a training for this video last night, and her husband walked behind her with no shirt on, and I couldn't see his pants. So it did look like he was naked. He wasn't, but it could have been that. So again, wear pants and curb distraction.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to show everyone a quick little video that I put together. Can everyone see it? Can I get a thumbs up if you can see it? All right. Woo. Thank you. So I'm just going to talk about some of these no-nos. You can still see it, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I went to full screen. So you don't want to vacuum.
You do not want to be vacuuming.
You don't want to be vacuuming, or you don't want to be eating.
You do not want to be eating. That is not cute.
Especially not a bowl of Brussels sprouts. You don't want to be hard to see. You don't want to be dark.
We can't see her. Yeah.
You don't want to.
Yeah, that's not cute. That is not what you want. That's not the kind of advertising you want.
You don't want to be on your phone while you're on Zoom.
No. Okay.
And this is the curbing distractions.
Yeah.
On your Zoom, friends. So those are some just fun little no-nos. I put a little video together. Thought it would be fun for you guys.
I was going to do one with no pants on, but again, nobody needs to see that. So I held off. It didn't go as planned. It did not look good.
And we're also trying to entertain you here. So I feel like I'm seeing smiles, and that makes me so happy. I miss all of these faces, seeing everybody in person. So Lisa is going to cover the 2.0 version of this class. Oh, thank you, April. I see your little hands. She's going to cover some other topics, and take it away.
Thank you. All right, so I am going to cover mostly items talking about how to create a Zoom event, and then helpful tips on how to capture your audience and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to probably be doing this most of the time. So let me get in there real quick. And you guys can see my screen, hopefully. Nod yes if you can. You can see I'm on zoom.us. Is everybody seeing that screen? Okay, I see Tracy nodding only. So hopefully, yes, you can see my screen. So this is the difference when we were talking about having Zoom on your desktop rather than being on Zoom on your internet browser. So when you're on your internet browser, this is your larger Zoom profile. So it's zoom.us, and I have logged in, which you can see my little face right over there. So you know this is my profile. And you have so much more settings when you create an event or change anything in Zoom on the website. The app or your desktop version only gives you a certain amount of settings. So this is where you can change all that kind of stuff, including your image that pops on. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to schedule a Zoom meeting. Most of you probably know how to do this, but there are a couple things in here I'm going to suggest for you. So the first thing you do is you go to schedule a meeting, and this will pop up, and you do all the things it asks. So we're in a Lisa's Zoom meeting. You can do a description here if you want. You can do the date, the duration. If it's a reoccurring meeting, so I have a bi-weekly sales meeting with my whole sales team for Corner Escrow. So I have that going for them. If it's just a one-time deal, obviously don't click that. The most important thing, I think, when creating a Zoom event is this next thing. So it says registration, and there's a little box you can check, clicked, required. So what that does is when you're creating a Zoom event and you want to click required registration. So all of you today had to register to attend this Zoom meeting. Yes, we all know that you had to input your name, your email, and you clicked register, and Zoom sent you the Zoom information to join the call. That's what that means. So if you click this box, your guests will have to register to attend your Zoom meeting. That also captures their email addresses. Hey, fun fact. So if you're trying to follow up with them, if you want to capture that data for sales, that is what you need to use to do that. You get that information later, and I can show you how to do that. But that is the most important. If you don't click it, all it does is it gives you when you're done creating the event, it gives you here's the event invitation information. And if you post that, if you're advertising on Facebook, you're just posting that all over the world for everyone to see and join your Zoom. And what if you don't want those people in your Zoom? That's weird. So you want to make sure that you click registration required. I always do. I always do. I'll just say I always do. Next important thing, and I just learned this yesterday, in fact, is the meeting ID. So it sometimes comes automatically on personal meeting ID. You all have a personal meeting ID. Or generate automatically. So I had back-to-back Zooms one day. I created a 10 o'clock, I had an 11 o'clock, and I had a 12 o'clock. So my 10 o'clock was running a little bit behind, and I was still in my 10 o'clock. Well, a guest from my 11 o'clock popped on in there. I was like, oh, hey girl, what are you doing here? It was weird. It's like she entered the room, and I didn't know how, virtually. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm here for our meeting. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm still in my other one. I had no idea how it happened. I found out that I used my personal ID meeting for all of those Zooms that I created. So if someone just logged on to that invitation, they were in whatever Zoom I was in at the time. So that could be bad for so many reasons. If you use Zoom for more than just business and you're like having a mimosa with your girlfriend, that's weird that a business person walks in. You don't want that. So just make sure you put generate automatically. That gives you a whole other meeting code. You can also, for more privacy, you can require a password if you want. You don't have to. Again, I'm going to do registration required so you can see how it ends up. Video, you can click whatever you prefer. So if you want people to automatically be on video when they join in, that's just personal preference. You want to make sure both is always clicked because, again, some people telephone in, they call in, they don't have audio on their computer. So you want to make sure they still can be able to listen, which is here. And then here are some other meeting features. So you can enable people to join before you. So if you don't hop on early, you can enable people to join your event without you being there yet. You can mute participants on entry, again, personal preference, enable waiting room. So this is a cool feature. If you want to create the meeting, but you don't want people just joining and popping in whenever they get there, you want some time to kind of chill, maybe look over your notes. I don't know what you're doing. You enable a waiting room. And that way, when people pop on, it prompts the host, hey, Tracy Garamone is in the waiting room. Would you like to let her in? And then you can pretend you're a doctor and say, hey, we're ready to see you or whatever. So that's a great function. And then of course, all the things, enable waiting room, you can do only authenticated users can join, record the meeting automatically. That's a great one to use if you are filming the Zoom and you don't want to have to worry about, oh no, did I click record? I'm not sure. You want to record it and then you push save. There you go. That is how to create a Zoom event. So the difference I want to show you is where it says registration link right here, because we required registration for our event. This is what you share when you're advertising your event. And this is the link that you post in your event and on your social media, and people will click that and then they'll have to register for your event by entering their name and email. So if for some reason, I'm going to edit and you'll see the difference. If you don't want people to register for your event and you just want the invitation, maybe you're just doing it with your girlfriends and you don't care about their emails, you get this. This is the invitation link and you can just copy it. And this just gives, this is just the link directly to the Zoom. So that's just the only difference. In my opinion, I think you should always register if you're doing a professional meeting. That way you have the contact information. Another good thing, especially if you're the host and people want my earpod information, I don't have to be like, oh, enter your email in the chat and then quickly have to write down everyone's email. It gets a little aggressive. So that's just the best feature there. The next thing, I also want to quickly just show you how to change your profile pic on your on the website here. So you would go to profile, and then hopefully it doesn't show any of my passwords, so that's cool. This is it. See, that's my face, and you just push change, and then you can upload any picture you want and save it, and that's another way. So whatever picture is here is going to show up when you press pause or stop video like this. See, they match. All right, I'm going to stop share and talk to you about another cool feature. The little ellipses. So if you're looking at your screen, and hopefully everyone's in grid mode, it's probably easier to follow along if you are. If you're on speaker mode, you probably just see my face really large. So if you would like to change your views on how you're seeing this, you go up to the upper right-hand corner and it says speaker view, or it says gallery view. I would go to gallery view at this time so you can kind of follow along with what I'm talking about. So there's 3 dots next to your square. So if you're looking at your square in the upper right-hand corner, there's 3 dots. Does everyone see the 3 dots? Yes, okay, good. So if you click those dots, I have different options than you do because I'm a host of this video, but you usually have mute my audio, stop video, pin video, rename, edit profile picture. Hey, there's another way you can change your picture, I guess. I didn't know that. So these are great tools if you're trying to mute yourself and you can't find the lower button or whatever, you want to stop your video. But also a cool thing is pin video. So if you're if there's 2 hosts like Molly and I, and you're on speaker view, but you want to see both of us at the same time, even if Molly's not speaking, you would pin her video to the top, and it's going to stick to the top of your screen. So you don't have to, so you never not see Molly during this time, if you just only want to see Molly the whole time. So that's a cool feature. If there's multiple speakers and you're trying to figure out, oh, who just said that or who's talking, you don't have to deal with that. You can just pin your video there. Another cool thing, if you're a host, is you have the ability to stop people's video on here. So if for some reason you see someone not wearing pants and they got up and you don't want that in your Zoom call conference, you can stop their video yourself. You can also mute that person yourself there too. And you can also remove someone. So if someone's being inappropriate or you just don't want to listen to them talk anymore, I don't know, whatever your reasoning is, you can remove that person from your Zoom if you're the host. Again, that's only if you're a host. If you're just on a call, you have limited options, but if you're a host, you have more options to, you know, get rid of people, which is kind of nice. I'm looking at notes, I apologize. So I did just show you all how to do speaker and gallery view, correct? So another question I get asked a lot, and I think Nicole Albrecht is on this call. I think I saw her, and maybe Jamie McNeese. Anyway, they always ask, I do a lot of Zoom interviews and I post them to my Facebook. So raise of hands of who has seen my videos on Facebook. And okay, good. Most people are. So I have a side-by-side view. So this last one, I did a video with Molly, actually. It was Molly. We advertised our Zoom class today. And we were side by side and everyone's like, how do you get that side by side? It's gallery view because there's only 2 of us. That's all. We're showing both. It's not fancy. So gallery view is how you get that if you want that side by side image. Another thing that is, another thing that is down on the bottom of your screen, I think we experienced it early. Someone tried to share their screen with us, which was so nice. Thank you for sharing. There's screen share down there. That's how you share your screen. Please don't click that because we don't want to see your screens. Also next to that is breakout rooms. So I'm going to use my BNI for an example. I'm part of Wine Country Business Growers BNI, and we are doing our BNI virtually, which is very interesting because there's about 90 of us in that class. So, or in that group. So at the end, when people are visiting our group for the first time, we want a few moments just with them. I do. Wendy, you might not have a breakout room because you're not the host. I'm not 100% sure why you don't have it. I don't know the answer to that. I'm sorry. I need Zoom 101 for that. But you should have an option at the bottom that says breakout rooms. And you click that so you can move people into a separate room. So if Molly takes over and starts talking about more Zoom things, and there's like 5 of you who are like, Lisa, can you put me in a separate room to talk about something specific? I could put you in there. That's what that's for. It's like us walking into the next room and talking about that while this meeting is still going on and Molly's still teaching that meeting. So that's what that's for. Okay, only the host and co-host have that ability. So when I told you to look at the bottom, I lied, sorry. But if you were the host, that option would be there. Another thing down at the bottom, which I am certain you all have, is reactions. If you click that, you can clap for people. Like for me and Molly, we're doing such a good job in this Zoom video and we're hilarious. Everyone's clapping. Yay, okay. Thumbs up, which is like,
yay! Oh wait, I gotta take a screenshot of this. You guys are so cute.
Yay!
Okay, everybody.
Yay, and clap again because some of them are going away. So do it again. It only lasts for like 3 seconds. Yay! Okay. Another option is the thumbs up. Good thing there's not a thumbs down because that would be rude. And I want to get into the chat. Okay, so we're doing pretty good on time. I'm pretty impressed. I like to talk a lot. Yes.
One little thing. So
yes,
obviously we need to link the preferences, but you can actually change in preferences which color you would like your thumb to be.
Oh, okay.
We'll include that with the link for profile. So
my coloring doesn't change because it's either this or red, but maybe if you get tan, you can get a little tanner thumbs up or a clap.
I'm a vampire.
Like. Yeah.
I mean, people ask me all the time because I'm like.
If you have beautiful olive skin, you can choose that. That's awesome. I do not, unfortunately. Okay, so my last thing I want to cover is the chat room. So a few of you, most of you know, that you can chat with everybody while you're doing this call, which is great. Some of you do know that you can also chat privately. So if I wanted to send Barbara, only because she's the first name that I see on there, a little private note that says, hey girl, I'm so glad you made it. You can do that by clicking down, the arrow down where it says 2. You have all the options of everyone who's on the call. So it normally defaults to everyone, but if you go down, you can scroll through and only chat specific people. Now I will warn you and give you a piece of much appreciated advice that the host can see all chats, even private ones. Dun, dun, dun. Don't find out the hard way. So if any of you didn't enjoy me and Molly's incredible humor and you're talking to each other about it, we're gonna know. So don't do that. Don't talk about us. So just keep that in mind because thank God I did not learn that the hard way. Not that I would ever do that. But, you know, 'cause sometimes it could happen. You could be like, hey, I just, you know, saw something weird in someone's background or whatever it may be. So just when you're private chatting, it's fine. It's a great feature if you're like, hey, Lisa, what was your email address? I need to get that thing from you again. Totally fine, totally professional. Just don't use it for if you don't want the host to see. That's what you don't want to do. And I think that's all that I have. Molly, did I miss anything that you have on your notes? Because I kind of just went.
No, you didn't miss
I
anything.
did. Oh, okay, good.
No, not at all. But and I can see, being Mac users, that we see some different things that the PC users aren't seeing. So we'll be sure to get the proper links that will show you how to do some of the profile settings. And like Lisa said, just a reminder, if you log in offline, well, online, but you log in while not in a meeting to the zoom.us website, it may be a little easier to play around with things.
Yeah, so I suggest if you're trying to make any large changes, like your profile picture, your info in there, your email, all that stuff is so much easier if you just go to zoom.us and log in, because it's like a whole website. It acts as Facebook, and Facebook's pretty easy to navigate, right? You can get through all their profiles pretty easy, meetings pretty easy, pictures are pretty easy. So it's a little bit tricky on a desktop application, especially for Mac. We are really limited on Mac because it's an app. And so just like your phone, you're limited on some things and some things you're not on a computer. Also, oh yeah, go ahead, Molly.
Sorry, I'm sorry. So one question that came up a couple times in the chat that I wanted to address, I think there were a couple people that asked this. So they go in and they create a profile photo and they're like, you know, best realtor ever for their profile name. And then they see an event on, let's say, for example, Facebook or in an email, they register for it and they follow the link into Zoom and their profile picture is gone. Why is that? Before you get on a Zoom call, you want to make sure you're signed in to Zoom because it's very easy to attend a Zoom without being signed in.
That's true. That's
so you may even see that your name pops up if you had to register, because you have to enter your name when you register, but then you get in there and you're like, you don't have a profile picture. What the heck happened? That's what happened. You weren't logged in. So keep that in mind. And another thing is, because I have a better phone than I do a computer. So I prefer, now in this setting, it was more appropriate for me to be on a computer. So I'm using a computer that is top notch. But if I'm doing, let's say Lisa and Tracy and Liz and I are, and we're gonna get together and we're gonna have a Zoom, we're gonna talk about Tracy's new recipe. And that one I'm gonna be more casual. I'm gonna use my phone because I have a better camera and a better processor on my phone. But because I'm a user who goes back and forth between two devices, whether it's a tablet, an iPad, your phone, your computer, when you sign in with that account to one, in my experience, I get signed out of the other device.
Great tip.
When I go back to use that device, I need to make sure I'm signed in to have all of my profile settings there, such as my photo and my name. So keep that in.
Another question I want to ask, and if any of you have questions, we have 5 minutes left, so please ask them in the chat. We are here to help you. That's what this is for. Wendy asked, what is the file in the chat? So if you're looking at your chat, there's, oh, I just realized that it was private. Sorry, Wendy, but that's not a private question, so that's okay. If next to it says file, that's to upload a file. So if you ever attend the networking and property preview meetings for SRCAR, they always upload the properties that are on preview for that day. So Daniel uses that a lot. I think it's Daniel. It may vary, but that's to upload a document. So if there was like, if I had, you know, I don't know what I would have, a document that had my contact information and Molly's contact information, I could upload it there. Oh, there we go. Okay. Molly uploaded her business card. That's great. So that's what that's for. It's file.
Yeah. And then one other thing we didn't talk about. So on your side, on your sidebar, you're going to see your chat, or at the bottom you can click chat. And this works phones, computers, whatever. When you're in chat, and you'll see there's an option for everyone and then individuals. And I have to admit, this is my biggest Zoom faux pas. I do it all the time because I'm an excited person. So I literally just did it when I was sending the PDF of my business card into the chat so you could see how it works. I sent it as a private response to somebody.
Yeah, I do that too a lot, yeah.
Right, so for example, Carla had commented, if I don't go in and go select everyone, oftentimes it will default to Carla, and I will send something that's intended for everyone to Carla, or even better, I want to tell Carla privately, hey, I tried your salsa recipe, it was amazing, and now I've said it to all 51 participants of this call. Probably not what I want to do. So take that half second and make sure that you are addressing the person you want to address in the chat. That is going to give you the best possible Zoom life.
For sure. Somebody else said that if you use the waiting room option, so remember when I showed you how to make an event and the option was do a waiting room, provide a waiting room. So Susie was mentioning that if you do have that option, you have to make sure you
pull people out.
Pull people into the meeting. It's not going to pop up and say, hey, there's people in your waiting room. It's going to be under participants on the bottom bar of your screen, and you'll get a little like pop up, or it flashes. I think mine does a pop up or something, like a little, like if you get a text message, like a little red dot, but I have a Mac, so I don't know what the PC people get. And you have to click that and it'll show people in the waiting room, and you have to put them in the event. It won't just automatically pop up on your screen so it's super visible. You have to pay attention down there, or else poor, April Vidal might be just chilling in the waiting room the whole time and I didn't know. So make sure you are watching that participants feature, because you'll get a notification.
Yes.
I'm trying to scan I apologize. I'm trying to just scan the private or the chats to make sure there was no other questions.
I want to show you guys one more thing. So if you are not using a computer, which obviously does a really good job of just staying in one place, if you're using a phone, consider making the very small investment into a little tripod. This
Very true.
thing is a lifesaver. It came with, again, not affiliated with the company that sells this particular.
Although we should be, because I have sold them a lot of Power Beats by Dre.
Yeah.
I mean, hello.
This little guy folds up pretty compact, and you can move it all different ways. Like if you need it to look up or look down or whatever, I would really consider I'm sure you could create something that will hold your phone still around the house, maybe with some books or something, but definitely, especially if you're going to be an active participant, you want your camera to be still. So if you're not using a computer, if you're using a phone, really consider getting one of these guys, and we'll make sure you get this information. It's a lifesaver. I think it's as important as having good lighting. So
for sure, because no one needs to take a Dramamine while they're watching you, do a video. That's all crazy. So is there admit when someone yes, that's right, Linda. My chat box has a blue box on the right that says admit when someone's in the waiting room. So yes, that's what it'll say when it just won't alert you on the screen. You have to go into participants and see, and then it'll say admit Linda into the room, and you say yes, of course.
I'm looking at the questions here. I know we're almost out of time.
The Power Beats by Dre. I don't know what I call it. That's who makes them, right?
We're going to include all of our favorite little tools in the recap email that SRCAR will be sending out to the participants.
Yeah.
But I think we've addressed everything. Just always remember, you know, have a good time and get out and communicate with the people in your community. This is a great resource, a great tool to stay in touch. It works great for business, friends, family, whatever. You can reach us offline. My email is molly@mynhd, and Lisa?
I'm just lisa@cornerescrow.com. I got 2 questions. I think they were just privately, but I'm just going to answer them really quick. The Powerbeats, my earphones are great for exercising because they have the ear bracket. Also, there is a link on Amazon. There's a lot of versions of these, so I'm not 100% sure like what version or if it's like the original version. It says Powerbeats 3. I don't know. There is a link that has them at $79.99. So don't buy. Someone just said I think they're $249. Normally they are, but I do have a link, an Amazon link that will give them to you for $79.99. So don't buy the $249 ones yet. Wait for SRCAR to email you, or if you want them right away, just contact me, lisa@cornerescrow.com, and I'll send you the link right away.
So feel free to reach out to us. If we didn't answer all your questions, we really tried, but you know, there are a lot of questions rolling in, and we really, really, really appreciate your time and attention and choosing to spend your part of your day with us, learning more about the basic fundamentals of Zoom and, you know, using it in your business. You want to look polished, professional, and we just can't thank you enough for coming today.
True. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.